Hey everybody, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. And if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and please do well to share this video so that it can reach as many that needs it. So today we're going to be making this beautiful top and we're going to be starting with our measurement. This is a bustier or a strapless tube top, and the way I made it, you can wear it without a bra. From that video you saw earlier, there was no bra. So we'll be needing our vertical and horizontal measurement. You'll be needing your shoulder to your chest line, shoulder to your chest line, shoulder to your bust point, shoulder to your underbust, shoulder to your waist, shoulder to your top length. So shoulder to my chest line is 5.5 inches. This is where our top is going to start from. Shoulder to my bust point is 11 inches. Shoulder to my underbust is 15. Shoulder to my waist is 18. And shoulder to my top length is 23 inches. Also, your horizontal measurement, which is your round body measurement, your round on the bust at 32 inches, round waist at 33, one bust at 38, and round top length, that is where you want your top to stop. Around that area, you take it. I've imputed the vertical measurement on my fabric. This is my shoulder line, shoulder to my bust point, shoulder to my underbust, shoulder to my waist, and shoulder to our top length. So now we'll be putting down our shoulder to the chest line. This is where your bustier will start from, okay? So you can determine how low you want it. I want mine to be 5.5 inches low, just in the measurement I showed you earlier. So from the top line, which is my shoulder line, I'm going to mark my 5.5 inches, okay? 5.5 inches. When I sew it with half inch, when I turn it in with lining, it's going to fall back to 6 inches, and that is perfect. Okay, you can use as low as 4 inches, as low as 5 inches, even as low as 7 inches, your choice. So this top area won't be needed. All of our measurement is now going to start from this 5.5 inch. So now we want to put in our dart line, and I have a formula for doing that. I have a formula for putting in your dart line. So with that formula, you're going to be able to do this for every bust size, okay? Especially if you didn't take the measurement. So right now, you're just going to divide your bust by 4 minus 1.5. My bust divided by 4 is 9.5 inches. Minus 1.5, I'm going to have 8. That 8 is going to be my bust span or my nipple to nipple measurement. And you know that our fabric at the center front is always on fold. So we'll divide the 8 into 2 and we'll have 4 inches. Cutting directly on my fabric, I'm going to add half inch so that when I sew, it's going to come back to 4 inches. And I'm just going to mark this 4.5 on all my lines, on the chest line, on the bust point line, on the bust, on my waistline, and on my top length line. We go over to our bust tightening or our under bust contouring. Right now, you need a calculation. So to do that, you need your round bust minus your round on the bust divided by 2. If you're familiar with my last video, you will know that I use this formula. So my 38 inches minus my round on the bust, which is 32 inches, I'm going to have 6 inches. That 6 inches, I'm going to divide it by 2. This is the measurement or the figure I'm going to use for my on the bust contouring. 6 divided by 2, we're going to have 3 inches, okay? This is what we'll be using for our tightening. Now let me go over it again. Your round bust minus your round under bust. 38 minus 32 equals to 6. 6 divided by 2, I will have 3. So this will help you determine the exact amount to take out. No need for guesswork for every size, okay? Every size. So right now, we are going to share that 3 inches unequally or unevenly on both sides. You understand? So the mid part, that is, these are 4.5 inches. The middle, our center front, we don't want it to be too tiny because it's already small, irrespective of what your dart intake is. We are going to be taking a lesser amount on the mid part, and we're going to be taking the bigger amount on the side where we'll have our bust curve and all of that. So right now, I'm sharing the 3 inches unevenly. I'm using 1 inch for my middle. So I'm going to mark that 1 inch on my under bust, that 1 inch on my waistline, and that 1 inch on my top length line. Are you seeing it? And I'm still going to mark that 1 inch on my chest line. I'm just going to connect it into a straight line. A lot of us will be familiar with this, okay? Now, this is it. This is what I'm doing. So now on my bust point line, I'm coming down by 1/2 inch. This is going to help create smoothness. The curve is going to be smooth. There's no pointy, no sharpness. I'm going to come down by 1/2 inch from my bust point line and go up by 1/2 inch also. Then I'm just going to connect my under bust to that 1/2 inch at my bust point. Now I'm creating my curve for the mid part. Okay, I'm creating the curve for the mid part right now. Connect your underbust to the 1/2 inches below your bust point, and I told you that 1/2 inch is going to help smoothing that bust point area to avoid sharp edge or pointiness. So now we're going to connect the 1 inch on our chest line back to the 1/2 inch above our bust point line. I'm sure you can see what I'm doing. Just look at what I'm doing. Please, I'm trying to make sure that the lines are not too curvy. I don't want them to be too curvy. Just look for a not so straight line, but not too curvy line, just like so. So our mid part is typically ready. Okay, our mid part is ready. Now we'll focus on imputing the rest of the dart intake or the underbust tightening on the side. So on the side panel, the remaining 2 inches left out of our 3 inches, we're going to put it on the side. We're going to mark it on the bust, on the waistline, and on our top length line, and connect it into a straight line. After this, we are going to decide the tightening for the side panel on the chest area. Okay, and to do that, whatever you took on the side, which is the 2 inches, you are going to minus 1/2 inch to put on the top. That is 2 minus 1/2 inch. We're going to have 1.5 inches. So I'm marking the 1.5 on the side panel. I'm going to connect them into a straight line like so. And after that, I will connect the underbust, the 2 inches at the underbust to the 1/2 inch at my bust point again, just like that. You're going to see what I'm doing with my ruler. Just place it nicely, not too curvy, not too straight. If you make it too curvy, you'll find it difficult to sew, no matter how much of an expert you are. So do it like that. And also, we're going to connect the 1.5 inches on the side, which we used for our overbust tightening at the top here. We're going to connect it back to the 1/2 inch above the bust point line, like so. So you can see everything is basically playing out just the way it's supposed to be. Now we have our mid panel and our side panel. So if you notice any place that's too pointy, just try and make it into a curve to smoothing that area. So we are almost done. Our front panel is almost done. We have our sides, we have our middle, everything is going fine. So the next thing we're going to do is to decide our neckline. Okay, decide your neckline. There's something we call strap to strap measurement for the neckline, but I don't want to go into complicated for you guys. I'm going to show you to determine your neckline for your off shoulder or for your breast tube. You are going to reduce your shoulder measurement. That's your main shoulder. So my main shoulder is 16 inches. Okay, and you know that your chest line, your shoulder is definitely wider. So I'm going to minus 2.5 from my shoulder divided by 2. So my shoulder is 16 inches. Okay, divided by 2, we have 8, which we are going to put normally. So that 8 inches will be too wide for the neckline. I'm going to minus 2.5 or 3 inches. If the person is skinny, you can use 3 inches. So minusing 2 from my 8 shoulder measurement, I'm going 2.5, sorry. I'm going to have 5.5 inches. I'm going to have 5. So that 5.5 is going to serve as my neckline for my off shoulder. I'm giving you guys this formula so that it will be easy for you to recreate for any size at all. So I'm going to mark my 5.5 on my chest line, skipping my darts. Skipping your darts, please. Okay, So this is going to be my neckline. And after that, I'm going to add half an inch to sew. In case you want to put a sleeve, either a puff sleeve or a straight sleeve, whichever one, that half inch, you're going to use it to connect it to your off shoulder neckline. So now to determine our armhole depth, we already came down by 5.5 inches, okay? And we're going to be having 2.5 inches left. Typically, our armhole depth is 8 inches. So that is what I'm imputing right there. Okay, took out half an inch to make it 2 inches. Okay, out of the remaining 2.5, I took out half an inch to make it 2 inches because you don't want it to be too low, especially for an off shoulder or a strapless, so that your underarm will not be exposed, too exposed. So I'm going to connect my neckline to that armhole. But first of all, let's take our bust measurement, our horizontal measurement. Mine is 9.5 inches, and I'm going to take into cognizance the dart we are going to take out. Okay, and I'm putting it back. Always replace whatever you take out, and I'm going to use 2.5 inches sewing allowance. I'm going to do same for the on the bust. Okay, do same. I'm just trying to make sure these lines are pretty clear and sharp for us. Now that we have our bust measurement in place, we are going to connect our armhole just like so. You can use a straight line. That part for your off shoulder, it doesn't have to be curvy. You can use a straight line. It doesn't have to be curvy, just like that. So moving on, we're going to put in our on the bust measurement. 32 divided by 4 will have 8 inches. We know we took out 3 inches for our on the bust tightening. We're going to replace it back. Then we're going to add our sewing allowance, which is 2.5. We'll go over to the waist and do the same thing also. Our waist is 33 divided by 4, 8.25. We took out 3 inches. We are going to replace it back in our sewing allowance of 2.5 inches. Okay, fashion is give and take, so whatever you took out, please replace it back. So on our top length area, I took 37 inches, which is 9.5, approximately 9.5. So I'm just trying to be sure I'm taking the measurement right there now. So 9.5, approximately 9.5. I'm just going to put that down, replace the 3 inches, and put in our sewing allowance, 2.5 inches sewing allowance. Then I can connect it together to give me our side panel, our complete side panel. So now we are done with fixing the sides. Now we want to shape the hem. For a blouse, your body is not straight and your blouse is not supposed to be straight. To make your blouse sit well on your body, you need to shape the sides. So on the side, I'm going to go up just like so by 2 inches. 2 inches is perfect. It's okay. It's enough. This is going to make the sides of your dress or your blouse. For people that want to make blouses, it's going to make it relax and sit well on the curve of your stomach. Okay, now I'm going to cut. But first of all, I'm not going to cut out all my darts. I'm just going to cut out the entire material, because we are going to be placing this front to get our back. Basically, we're not going to be measuring much for the back. The back is quite easy. So just see the way I'm cutting it out. I'm just cutting the round triangle, okay, before I completely cut out all of our measurements. But right now, I'm just going to cut out the material itself. Then I'm going to place it like so to get our back. Okay, so this is how it's going to be. Just like this, just the way it is. You are going to fold another fabric into two and make sure that you have space for your zipper allowance, just the way you are seeing on your screen right now. Your fabric is folded into two. Mark out your zipper allowance. I used 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. And you're going to place the center front of your front block or your front piece on this zipper allowance line. you are going to see what I'm doing. But right now, I'm just making sure that the zipper line is clear enough for you guys to see. So now you're going to place your front like this. Are you seeing it? Center front on your zipper allowance line. Your center front, just match it up. Make sure that this middle rests on that line. Make sure that the middle rests on that line. We're going to cut out exactly the same shape. Okay, so this is me. I'm cutting it out, just cutting it in the triangle. We've not started cutting out any of our actual measurement that we have marked down. We are just making sure that the front and the back have the same size. Okay, this is what I'm doing. All right, so I'm not going to fast forward any of this part. I just want you guys to see exactly how I did it. Now, after doing this, then we can cut out our armholes and the other darts that we took out. But first of all, we are going to start with cutting the armhole first, but make sure that both the front and the back are equal. I'm just trying to reshape and take out any excess. Make sure the front and the back are equal, and now we can start with cutting. You are going to cut out your armhole, both the front and the back together, with the template you've made already for the front. Are you seeing it? So this is what we took out for the armhole. Okay, and you're going to cut the sides exactly the same, both the front and the back together, all four pieces, and then we're going to cut out the shaping at the hem. You can see where the shaping at the hem got to. It's going to meet your that leg. Okay, just look at the way I'm going to cut it. Just look at the way I'm going to cut it. Yes, just like that. You're not going to cut through to your center front. You're going to stop at your dart. Now we have our front and our back block already, just like that. Basically, no too much measurement for the back. I am knotting my zipper allowance, then I will just impute the half inches dart on the back. I'm just going to impute the half-inch darts on the back. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to mark my darts. I'm going to replace the darts at the front for the back. That is our 4 inches, our bust span, which is 4.5. You know, we use 4.5 to get our bust span, so I'm replacing it for the back. Are you seeing it? If you check it, it's still the same thing, 4.5, 4.5. So we'll take out the front and connect the 4.5 into a straight line. Okay, we're going to connect because we want to plot the dart for the back. The back doesn't need too much tightening, but it's still perfect if we tighten it. Okay, so now at the bottom part, we are going to be using 1 inch for our dart. 1 inch for our dart. So we're going to take half inch on both sides, half and half. Then we're going to connect it first in a triangle, just the way that to have. You know that triangular shape that have, okay? So we're going to place it and connect it to the top like that. Yes, so we're going to connect it like so in a triangular manner. And we're going to do same for the other side. We're going to connect it like so in a triangle manner, just like that. My ruler was shaking, so I'm trying to make sure that the amount that I took out on both sides are equal. So please take out time to do yours to avoid painting and painting your fabric over and over again. So again, we want to tighten the neckline too for the back. Yes. So we're going to take half inch again, half inch, half inch on both sides. Yes, and we're going to connect it back down to meet the half inch at the bottom. Just watch what I'm doing. Yes, this is going to be the back is going to be 4 pieces because I'm going to separate it, then sew it back together. Okay, yeah, I'm just taking into cognizance the neckline. You know, I told you that the neckline for the back should be wider than the front by 1 inch. So that was what I was measuring there to make sure that I'm still on track. Okay, so we used 5.5 inches after we minus 2.5 from our shoulder measurement to get our neckline or the strap to strap. That 5.5 for the back, it should be 6.5 because our back is wider. And so whatever you have for your neckline, when you do your calculations, make sure that the back is 1 inch wider than the front. Then you can cut out just the way you're seeing me do it right now. I'm going to separate it and sew it back together. So I'm just notching the top part because both the bottom and the top are looking alike, so as not to mistake them and turn it upside down. This is how the back will look like, and we're going to sew it together. I'm just going to separate the zipper side to give us 4 pieces. This is going to give us our 4 pieces like this. This is how it's going to be. This is our back bodice block. So now we can cut out our front. Now this is how I'm going to cut out our front piece from the hem down to the on the bust, straight up to the bust point. Okay, make sure that part is smooth. Just make it smooth curve, not too curvy, but just make sure it's not sharp. Okay, then straight to our chest line. Our side front is ready, and now we'll cut out the center front down to the bust point and to our chest line like so. So this is it. This is our front piece. So our front piece is going to give us 3 pieces. That is our center unfold and our 2 side. This is that we took out for the front. And now we can go over to pad our pieces. We are going to use 2 layers of stay first. Look at the 2 layers, make sure you notches are your best friend, and you are going to come down from your underbust by 1/2 inch and just pad using this method that I'm showing you here. Come down from the top by 1.5 inches, do same for the side, and we are going to be using this wording to pad. We're going to be using this wording to pad. And to pad, you can see what I did here. I came down from the top by 1 inch, by 1.5 inch, sorry, and under bust I came down by 1/2 inch. Then look at the side, came down from the under bust by 1/2 inch also, came down from the top by 1.5 inch again also for the side, and I just gave it a curve, a bust curve. Okay, so you're just going to place on your wording like so, just the way you see me doing here. So for more, if you are pretty confused or need more clarity, I want you guys to go over to watch the princess and padding video. You get a very good idea of what I'm doing or what I did here. So this is it. I padded it. Okay, iron your wording. After ironing your stay, look at it, look at how it is now. So this is your wording here. Can you see it now? That's the round part. So just do it like that. Iron it. If you don't have iron, there's no light, you can use your pins to hold it, and you're going to place them side by side, making sure your notches are matching each other. Then you're going to sew from the hem, and this is what we have. We've sewn down one part. Can you see it? So we've sewn the other part right now. This is what we got. Okay, this is what we got right here, like this. This was the result. Look at the inside. This is how it looks like. This is the inside. And to make sure that the bust part lays pretty well, you are going to sew double lines. You can see double lines here. I made sure that curve, I'm going to sew a straight line down again to make sure it's not pointy. And also you cut out the wording like you see me demonstrated. You cut out the wording to remove excess bulk. So now we'll go over to the back piece. We'll go over to our back piece. You just do same for the back piece. Iron your stay, 2 layers of stay, then sew it down like so. So now I want to cut out the neckline. The neckline, it depends on how low or exposed you want it. So if you're trying to be for the Lord, you make it not too low or exposed. But either ways, we are for the Lord, okay? We are for the Lord. All right. So now I'm just taking note of the 5.5 inches that I came down by. Then I'm marking my bust point. Me marking my bust point is just to help me know how low, because when it gets to your bust point, it's pretty open. So if you want it that way, no problem, go for it. So I mark down my bust point at 11 inches. Then I'm going to go up. I'm going to go up for my bust point by 3 inches. I'm going to go up for my bust point by 3 inches. So this is how low from the top I want it to be, or from the chest line I want it to be. This is how low I want it to be. You can see now my bust point and 3 inches upwards. So now I'm going to take note of my armhole beginning. That's where the 5.5 inches ending. You see that 5.5 inches neckline that we took, that's our chest width, or the strap to strap that I mentioned, the beginning of your armhole. You're just going to shape your neckline from that point, okay? So you just give it this nice curve, very suitable curve that is going to make the outfit look nice. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. There's no formula for this. I'm just freestyling. Okay, I'm just freestyling it. When you mark out the first line, look at it. Please don't use marker. It's for tutorial purpose and it's my outfit. That's why I'm using marker. So please, for your customer, don't use marker. Please, you can use a pencil or you can use your regular tailor's chalk. Can you see how I did it? Just like that. So I'm going to cut it out now and show you what it looks like. This is it. I'm going to cut it out now, and I'm going to show you the purpose of cutting your neckline after joining your pieces together is that it makes the breast tube sit well on your body, and it helps you to avoid space. Some breast tube, so there will be space in between your chest, but if you do it like this after joining the pieces and cutting out your neckline, you see the way it will relax on your body, on your client's body, and you can see the sweet curve that we got here. So now I want to cut out the back neckline also. I want to shape the back neckline. Okay, so now I'm putting the sides together. That's the armhole side together, the armhole side of the front together with the armhole side of the back. Can you see it? Okay, you can see where my armhole started from. You can see it now. So now what I'm trying to show you here is that if I'm putting a sleeve, this is how my neckline is going to be, because this is your armhole. Your armhole is going to start from there. So you need space for your armhole. But for the fact that it's going to be strapless, there is no armhole. Okay? There is no armhole. I'm just going to connect it down like so. From the front, I'm just going to connect it down like so. It's strapless, there is no armhole. But if there was armhole, it will start from this your armhole point here. And you know that the back neckline or the back is lower than the front when it comes to breast tube and all that. Can you see how I did it right now? Okay, so this is how it's looking like. I hope you understand this, and with subsequent videos I'm going to explain more on this. So this is how the back and the front look like from the side. Okay, so now I'm going to join it together on the side. I've joined it together on the side. I took my measurement and I joined it on the side. Can you see it? Take your measurement and join both the back and the front together. Do same for your lining, and make sure that your lining is 1 inch shorter so that it's going to be neat after sewing. The lining won't be showing underneath your fabric. Okay, now I'm just going to sew the neckline. I'm going to sew the bottom, and I'm going to sew the zipper side, but I'm going to leave like 7 inches space so that I can bring it all out. So I'm enclosing all of the seams together, just like that. I'm just flipping it round for you to see what I'm going to do or what I'm about to do. So make sure that your lining is 1 inch shorter, and also place it like this on, so right side facing each other. You're going to sew the neckline, the top round, sew the hem just like this. Make sure you notch, okay, make sure you notch it round like this. Then you are going to turn it out from the opening you left. So look at it. Now I'm going to create my opening on the zipper side. So I'm just going to use my seam ripper to create like 7 inches opening on your zipper allowance side. So just open it, turn it round, iron it, and this is what you have. This is what you have. So you can see the opening that I turned it out from. You're just going to stitch it down and fix your zip. This is the outcome, guys, and I hope and I pray that you guys love it and you understand. Okay, this is it. There's no bra. This is how well it is laying on my body. This is how well it is laying on my body. No bra, everything is. So this is the fit. This is the fit. So I noticed that the zipper side at the back was bulgy, so I'm going to lose it, fix it, because there's no perfection here, guys. Thank you.